I'm gonna throw gasoline on your car and burn it while you in there. That was my threat to him. Gilbert.
NBA feuds aren't just about words, they're life and death dangerous. We're talking guns in the locker room, televised chokes, and literal boxing matches to settle scores. Still, nothing touches the long-running psychological warfare between Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. On the court, they were God's 3 straight titles from 2000 to 2002. Behind the curtain, absolute mayhem. The rot was simple. A massive gap in respect and work ethic. Kobe was a gym rat, obsessed with being the greatest. Shaq relied on raw talent, skipped his cardio, and showed up heavy. To Kobe, that was a slap in the face. Things finally boiled over in that brutal 2003 and 4 season. Kobe was buried in a legal case while the Lakers crumbled against Detroit. Then Shaq went public, pinning the whole collapse on Kobe. Kobe swung back, calling Shaq lazy and out of shape. It went nuclear vicious texts and teammates jumping in to keep the locker room from exploding. By 2004, the bridge was burned. Shaq was shipped to Miami, won another ring, and kept the pettiness alive with a 2008 diss track. They didn't make peace until 2018, calling it a brotherhood gone sideways. But let's be real, the damage was already set in stone. Watching Wiggins hunt for that step-back 3. Still no points on the board. 2 minutes in and it's still 0-0. Check out the Thompson-Davis situation. What is that? Looks like a full-blown scuffle. Some rivalries are just petty, but others get physical. Draymond Green versus Rudy Gobert is about one thing. Who owns the paint? Both guys built their names on defense. Draymond grabbed the top defensive honor in 2017, but Rudy snatched it 4 times. 2 alphas, 1 throne. The fuse was lit in 2019 when Gobert got snubbed from the All-Star game and actually cried on camera. Draymond went for the jugular, mocking him on national television. No mercy. Rudy fired back on social media with a line that hit like a freight train. Insecurity is always loud. After that, Draymond made it his mission to call Rudy soft, overrated, and useless outside of the paint, especially on his podcast. Then came November 2023, and the gloves officially came off. A scrap breaks out Klay Thompson, Jaden McDaniels, and suddenly Draymond has Rudy in a full-on chokehold on live television. This wasn't trash talk or a little shove, it was a headlock. The league didn't hesitate, hitting Draymond with an indefinite suspension. Minnesota stopped doing interviews with the network. Even Draymond admitted that watching the tape made him think, damn, a rare, quiet moment in a loud war. By the 2024 playoffs, the shots were still flying, with Draymond tearing apart Rudy's defensive coverage again. Rudy says he ignores the noise, but you can tell it fuels his fire. This isn't over, it's just waiting to explode. Then you've got Devin Booker and Luka Doncic, a different kind of mess. No respect, no off-season workouts, just pure, unadulterated smoke. Their beef ignited in the 2022 semis when Luka absolutely gutted Phoenix, averaging 33-7 while Booker's Suns completely fell apart. It turned nasty quick. Luka flopped, Booker mocked the Luka special, and every game was just glares and shoves. Off the floor, Booker unfollowed him, Modern War. He called Luka's celebrations clownish, and Luka questioned if Booker could even lead a team. In March 2023, it flared up again when Luka missed a big shot and Booker started talking. You missed it. Almost a fight right then. Booker put it perfectly later. You wanted smoke? There it is. Respect exists, sure, but the scars stay. Luka's numbers are higher, but Booker remembers every single bucket that went against him. I'm going to pour gas on your car and burn it with you inside. That was the literal threat he made. Back in 2009, an NBA locker room became an actual crime scene over a stupid $100 card game debt. Javaris Crittenton lost the money, refused to pay up, and threatened to blow Gilbert Arenas' kneecap off. Arenas was just as reckless. Days later, he brought 4 unloaded guns into the DC locker room as a joke. Crittenton wasn't laughing. He pulled out a loaded pistol, pointed it right at Arenas, and demanded he do something about it. Teammates scrambled, waiting for the shots to ring out. The standoff ended without blood, but the fallout was massive. Arenas got suspended, pleaded guilty to felony gun charges, and by the time he was pardoned in 2021, his career was long gone. Crittenton's life went south fast. Convicted of murder in 2011, sentenced to 23 years, and finally out in 2023. Arenas later admitted that pure immaturity ruined their lives. Then we have Boston, where a title-winning brotherhood rotted from the inside out. The 2008 Celtics looked like family, but Rajon Rondo and Ray Allen basically hated each other's guts. As Rondo took over the team, Allen started pushing for a trade to bring in Chris Paul, which would have kicked Rondo to the curb. Rondo felt the knife in his back. It got so bad the team actually let them box it out in the weight room. Kendrick Perkins said they went at it for real. Rondo wasn't playing around. He was swinging with genuine hate. They had real beef, so they laced up. They put on the gloves and actually started throwing hands in the facility. Everyone watched. But trying to settle a grudge with a fistfight wasn't enough to save what they had. In 2012, Ray Allen left the Celtics reeling by jumping ship to their arch-nemesis, the Miami Heat. Making it worse, he ghosted his teammates, offering zero warning before they finally crossed paths on the court. Rajon Rondo didn't hide his spite, flat out refusing to even acknowledge Ray during the pregame handshakes. That bitter energy went public and festered for years, with Ray later branding Rondo a problem in his memoir. Rondo called Ray selfish, while Paul Pierce chimed in, claiming Ray hated taking a back seat to the younger guys. Minor locker room beef exploded into a legendary grudge. Usually, these NBA wars ignite under the intense playoff lights. But some start in weird places like the isolated NBA bubble during the height of the pandemic. The spat between Kyle Lowry and Aaron Gordon fits that bill, ranking as one of the league's oddest feuds. It kicked off in August 2020 during a bubble scrap between the Raptors and the Magic. Lowry, always the physical instigator, landed a brutal clothesline foul that sent Gordon flying into the hardwood. Gordon was livid, getting in Lowry's face with a barrage of insults. Most would walk away, not Kyle though. He dropped an iconic ice-cold line. "Room 836 is where I'm at. Come see me." He was serious. Lowry actually invited Gordon to throw down in his hotel room. That bad blood definitely followed them out of Orlando. Fast forward to January 2021, and Gordon got his lick back with a heavy-duty shoulder check. Cameras caught Lowry telling Terrence Ross he was ready to settle things. Neither man actually visited that hotel room, but the bad blood never faded. To Lowry, it's just hard-nosed ball. To Gordon, that's crossing the line into dirty play. Regardless, the animosity is palpable. That Utah Jazz tension was actually brewing way before the collapse. Donovan Mitchell was the high-volume engine, while Rudy Gobert felt ignored, constantly begging for more lobs and paint touches. Their petty bickering eventually infected film sessions, where Gobert would openly rip into Mitchell's shot selection. Then came March 2020. Gobert mocked the virus by touching everyone's mics, then tested positive days later. When Mitchell tested positive shortly after, he was absolutely livid, just completely done. He saw Rudy's antics as totally reckless, even going as far as liking anti-Gobert posts on social media. Rudy tried to play it cool later on, but the brotherhood was already burnt to the ground. By 2022, Utah blew it all up, shipping Rudy to Minnesota and Donovan to Cleveland. Mitchell admitted things just failed. Whether they ever actually patched things up is anyone's guess. But look at what happens when two hyper-intense point guards collide for over a decade. Total fireworks, always. Their beef is the stuff of legend, spanning from the late 2000s all the way to today. Rondo thinks Paul is a toxic teammate. Paul thinks Rondo plays dirty. Funny enough, they're basically the same guy. Fierce leaders, hyper-competitive, and obsessed with winning. Still, don't expect them to grab dinner together, ever. Put them on the same court and things get ugly fast. Of course, every story needs a real villain. Dillon Brooks built a whole career out of being a pest. But poking DeMar DeRozan? That was a massive mistake. During the 2023 playoffs, Brooks was relentless with the cheap shots and trash talk after every whistle. DeRozan is usually the coolest guy in the room, but he snapped, calling out Brooks for being a coward who attacks from behind. Chaos erupted again in March 2024. A small scuffle involving Jalen Green turned into a full-blown war between DeMar and Brooks. Both got tossed. When asked about the incident later, DeRozan kept it blunt. "I just don't like the guy." October 2025 brought the next round, with DeRozan in Sacramento and Brooks out in Phoenix. More shoving, more chirping, and plenty of F-bombs caught on the mics. Strategy for Brooks, but for DeMar, it's personal. Finally, we have one of the newest grudge matches in the game. It's the young gun versus the vet. This one started back in 2022, a generational clash where respect had to be earned. The Grizzlies' celebrations really rubbed Klay Thompson the wrong way, and he dismissed them as way too premature for a team with 0 rings. Tensions boiled over in November 2025 during a Mavs-Grizzlies game. Ja Morant was sidelined, but that didn't stop him from chirping at Klay after a brutal missed shot. Once the buzzer sounded, Ja went straight at him. Klay didn't hold back, mocking Ja for talking while hurt and mentioning his legal drama. He basically told him to show some accountability. Jay wasn't finished. Later, he hijacked a teammate's presser to fire off. The world's best sniper doesn't play for the Warriors. Petty? Yes. Cold? Absolutely. This is the exact brand of chaos the league loves. Klay has 4 championship rings. Jay? Massive talent. Total controversy. This feud is barely beginning.